Hello everyone. So, welcome to our brand new channel, streaming on Stonehearth now. And this is the first of hopefully many Stonehearth development streams. The idea is that I'm just going to work and you guys are going to watch what I do day to day to sort of make the game. Whatever I happen to be working on a Tuesday or Thursday, that's what you're going to get. So today it's going to be a lot of modeling, a little bit of coding. Well, not really coding, I guess data. You'll see. Hi, Bavarian. Well, let's just get to it. Let me show you what I've got. This is all stuff that is coming in Alpha 7. Let's run the game, just as a starting point. Oh man, I can't see chat. Let me resize this window. Still trying to get my windows all set up and perfect. Okay, look, it's the Mason. You guys saw the Mason last week. What you haven't seen maybe is wow, sorry. I move the camera on a lot. I'm just sort of twitchy that way. People keep reminding me not to do that because it's hard for you guys to follow. But here he is. Here's his workshop. And what I'm making right now I'm filling out his recipes, right? So this is the first, or I guess the second crafter. The first crafter in a very long time. So we've got to make some stone stuff. So he does furniture, he's got these bird baths, he can craft stuff like that. He's got a skin. And the first thing that I want to do, well, I want to change the skin. Like these stones are pretty cool, but they're sort of really close to the list of recipes. I want to change that, but let's not change it yet. Let's, I have a bug, by the way. Something's wrong with my setup where the game crashes every time you close it. It's pretty annoying, but that's life. Life in the big city in game development. Yeah, someone like shout out in all caps or something that Steve or Jeffers hop on so I can mod them in the new channel. Right. Let's open Cubicle. So this is just kind of a scratch pad that I have of some of the recipes from the carpenter. Oh, we have a list. We have a list of things to do. Let's bring up the list. And anyway, I'm going to use this to sort of model stuff, and then I'll break it out into its own game asset. Let's bring up the list. Let me get a new browser window up here. Excuse me. Hey, you guys remember last week when I was like kind of hacking up a log on stream? Well, it turns out I had bronchitis. That was a great day. But I'm on the meds now, and as you can tell, getting better. So please excuse any coughing. Should be all better next week. So I posted this thread in the discourse for like your suggestions for recipes, and a lot of you guys responded. Thanks so much. And as a result, this is what we're gonna do. Some of my ideas, some of yours, and this gives us a good to-do list. So let's just like, you know, indie project management. We're gonna make Notepad. Okay, so let's see. Let's just go like, I don't know. We don't have to go in order, but we are going to go with whatever sort of strikes our fancy. Let's see. So stack of bricks, done. Let's do a door. Should we do a door? Maybe. Let's go through this first. Chairs done. Dining table's done. I did all this stuff earlier today. Park bench is done. Bird bath is done. Let's stick with. Ooh, let's do these lanterns. I've been wanting to do these lanterns for a while. So don't need that anymore. So we got this stone, or this wooden lantern. Let's do a stone version of it. You see I was working on the door here earlier. And I've got like the furniture I've done so far. It's like, I'm looking at the wooden versions and then the stone versions to make sure that the stone version like looks a little bit different. It's not just a palette swap, you know, like a grayish version of the wooden furniture. I want that variety. And also you'll notice like I've chosen like a really cool, cool as in not warm palette. This is like a really subtle purple, bluish purple. Like you can see, it's kind of tough to see. Actually, let me change the size of my window because my palette's not fitting, right? So if I like, you know, saturated this up, you can see it's a bluish purple, and I'm doing that very intentionally. Like I could have made a brown stone or whatever, which is sort of what this is, earlier version, but there's tons of brown stuff in the game. So I really want this to be a different sort of, you know, color palette from from the stuff that you already craft, just again to give it more variety. And we're going to use Google image search to look at stone lanterns just to get some inspiration. I have a feeling, yeah, this is going to be a little bit Asian inspired, probably. You know, something like this one. That's pretty neat. And I'm not like gonna copy any of these bit for bit. I'm just trying to, like, you know, get a sense of, you know, taking some ideas here and there and what these things should look like. I like this one because it's very right angly, Stonehearthian, right, voxely. All right, that's cool. What's going on, guys? Those fountains you made last stream. Yeah, right. So these are sort of old ruin pieces that I did last stream, and I'm gonna commandeer them. Not exactly, but I'll make some sort of more modern, simplified versions for the mason to craft. So this is like easy stuff. This lantern should be pretty darn trivial. I've got my stone palette here, and I want to use the same 5 light colors, purples, for all my stone pieces, just to give them a sense of cohesion. And eventually we're going to need to palette swap this stuff. So like if you farmed obsidian deep in the ground or something, you'd be able to make obsidian versions. They all be black or something like that. So paving the way for that, we want to make sure they all use a consistent palette. So I want this thing to not look exactly like I was saying, the palette swap of the wood one. So I like how that one sort of carries the stone sort of silhouette all the way down to the ground. We're going to do that. So it'll be kind of like that. Oops. And then these sort of windowy elements that I have already going on this chair, I want to borrow. Those are neat too. Actually, let's make it a little bit bigger. Nah, let's make it the same size. That way if you have a mix, they'll still work together. So we can do it like this, that. Yep, that. Got some holes in this thing. So yeah. Is that too small? It might be too small. Can we make it bigger? Not really. We don't have a lot of room. Cooking? You guys are talking about cooking. Are you talking about like someone actually cooking something, or are you wondering about cooking in the game? You're confusing me, guys. Yeah, we just started. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, Backman. Just trying out some variations. I don't know if I like that. In fact, I think it's pretty clear that I don't. You know, we can try a bigger hole. You know, just playing with ideas. Alright, do sort of like that. That looks like a paper lantern. Yeah. I think I had the right idea when I was doing this. You know what? I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Just because I want, you know, like a decent sized holes. I want there to be a lot of, I guess, surface area for the bits that'll shine out, and I just don't have enough real estate. So it's bigger now. Okay, now let's see. Okay, if it's bigger that way by 1, it's got to be bigger this way by 1. The program I'm using, since everybody always asks, is Cubicle Constructor. It's a voxel editor. It's not part of the game, but you can check it out at, I think it's actually mindesk.com. If you just Google Cubicle Constructor with a Q, Cubicle, you'll hit it right away. It's a really good voxel editor, and I've been using it for like actually several years now. I live in this tool. There's actually a second version out, which is in beta, so I haven't picked it up yet, but I'll probably check it out when it is in full release. And there's a free version, so check out the free version. Play around with it. It's fun. I'm just baking in some shadows to sort of drop that. Yeah, I'm liking the way that's going. So now we're gonna do some mirroring. Copy, paste, flip on an axis, boom. And I'm just gonna model two sides of this thing until because excuse me, I can see the whole model here, so I don't need to do this side until I get it exactly how I want it, and then I'll just do some mirroring again. Oh, thanks, Varian. Linking cubicle constructor. Ashley, hi. Welcome. I don't know, this doesn't have to be the most complicated thing in the world. I feel like I want to give it like a little bit of, you know, kind of a bevel. Not a bevel, but sort of a more interesting element so it's not just sort of a post that's sticking in the ground with some holes in it. Something like that. And that's enough, right? These don't have to be super complicated. I might just take, oh, looks like I already did. Yeah, that's my latest color. So, is it really? I don't believe it. I think my palette might be wrong. Nope, it's correct. Okay. So that's great. Let's mirror, cut you, copy paste, mirror. You know, it'd be awesome is if this tool supported symmetric modeling. Unfortunately, it does not. If I mirror twice, that's the z-axis. Okay, boom, there's our lantern, right? So wooden version, stone version, they sort of relate to each other, but they're not exactly the same. In this piece, I want to go well with all these. Tom, in the future, will there be some type of competitive ladder? Oh my gosh. Okay, in the far-flung future, we would like to do a competitive ladder. I mean, we have so much to do before that, but one thing that I think is a cool idea is release like a map, a very particular map which has a seed, maybe like some baked-in encounters that'll happen, and then yeah, have like a competition for like this competition lasts for like a month, 2 weeks, whatever. And see who can like live the longest or build the biggest city on that map. There's lots of stuff that we have to do. First, we have to actually make the game, and then we have to do things like this is done. We're good. Then we have to do things like have a way to lock down things so you can't just cheat. So that is like in the far-flung future. That would be awesome. But Tony and I are both like hardcore competitive gamers. We love sort of gaming for fame and fortune and competing with other players. So, you know, if we do great on the single player game and we're still around in a couple of years, we would love to do something like that. It's a really fun idea, isn't it? Different combat classes like paladin and mage, etc. Yes, we will have different combat classes. In fact, I can show you. I'm not going to show you the combat classes, don't get too excited. But here's our jobs tree, right? So the idea is that the worker is in the center, and these are all the different classes that you can promote to. And you can see right now we have one combat class, a footman, right? There are these question marks. Well, what are these question marks? I'll give you a hint. This one's obviously archer, like many of you have guessed it. So you'll promote a worker to a footman and an archer. But then there's a combat class over here. You upgrade a footman to something else. What is that? Well, we'll get to it. You'll find out. And this tree may get even bigger. These are the classes we have planned, but you can imagine like having, you know, all kinds of stuff. This is heavily inspired by Final Fantasy Tactics, which is one of my favorite games as a kid. So we will have multiple combat classes, and those will come in not in Alpha 7, but you know, in the subsequent alphas, we'll start to really focus on combat. What's next? Can we call this done? I don't think we can. So let me actually make this thing. So to make it, we need to make a new entity. What is this? Decoration. So I'm going to copy. This is the kind of thing that would be awesome if we had a tool for, but it's not too big of a burden. Oops, wrong one. So we just do it manually for now. So I'm making a copy of the wooden garden lantern, calling it stone garden lantern. Right, and then these are the various files that make up a particular entity, in this case the garden lantern. Did I really do that? Get rid of that. So don't need that either. So you got, okay, where's the icon? Oh, the icon is the same as the usual entity. So you got the ghost. So there are 3 forms of every object, and I can show you them. Well, I'll show you them when we actually put it in game. There's the actual entity, the icon, and the ghost. And we have to, whoa, what did I do to make that happen? I hit a hotkey in Sublime. I'm not sure what hotkey it was. Oh man, anybody know what hotkey that was? Because that has never happened to me before, so we'll just restart Sublime. Alright. So we made a copy of our garden lantern, and now we need to change all the references from the wooden garden lantern to the stone garden lantern. So just search and replace wooden with stone. This is like super exciting stuff, but we'll give it the same lamp effect for now. So this is Stonehearth is built on an entity component framework, where basically an entity is like a game object, and the way that you attach functionality to an entity is by adding these different components, right? So we've got a collision shape, it's a lamp, and here's the effect to play, right? And each of these components has code that backs them and makes stuff happen in game. If you're interested and you don't know what an entity component framework is, I suggest Googling entity component framework and read up on it. It's cool stuff. Okay, so now we can say this is we'll just call it a stone garden lantern. What is this text for? It's just to give you something fun to read. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's just like, you know, why did we decide to put this in the game? And that's why, because it looks cool in this case. Okay, so that's all. I think we're good on this. Light source crafted, right? Okay, so I think we're good, right? Okay, so next we need to actually make the assets. Okay, so we've got our stone garden lantern voxel file. Oh wait, that's not gonna work. So let me copy this thing here and then open it in this version of Cubicle, save, jump back out to entities, decoration, lanterns, stone garden lantern. There it is. Open that file. Right, so it was a copy of the wooden one, of course. So now we're gonna come in here, paste this here, delete the old one. Whoops. I want to make sure I put it in the exact right spot. Like, alright, now delete the old one. Okay. Save it, and then export it in the binary format that we use, which is Cubicle's binary format. So, old timers, you've seen me do this a million times, but for the new people, I'm just giving the play-by-play. Okay, so now we have the entity. The entity should be done. It should work, because it's just a copy of the wooden one. Now we need to make a recipe for it. So to do that, we're going to come in here, and we're going to go jobs, mason, recipes, and we'll copy one of the existing recipes, rename it to stone garden lantern recipe. So this is so the entity is just a lantern, and you could have a lantern all kinds of ways. You could buy one, you could do whatever. This is the file that determines how you would make a lantern from scratch from the mason. So this is a stone garden lantern, blah blah blah. Let's copy and paste our description. Our portrait file is ping, which reminds me I have to actually make that. It requires one stone resource to build, and it produces, this is an alias for the item that it produces a stone garden lantern. So now I will go to our manifest, which is declaration, which is kind of like a global list of everything in the game. So we can refer to it by like a name and not by a direct file path. This way, if we want to change where the thing lives on disk, which we've done many times, we can do it here on this side of the colon, because everywhere we refer to it in the game is by here, right? So I'm adding a new alias for the stone garden lantern. So I'll refer to this as mod name. In this case, the main mod is Stonehearth. Stonehearth colon decorations colon stone garden lantern, and then we'll do a lookup for that to look it up. And this is where the file lives on disk within my mod. So when I say that this recipe for a stone garden lantern produces a Stonehearth decoration, stone garden lantern decoration, yeah, that should work. Are we done? Right, I need the portrait. Okay, so let's see. So in an ideal world, we would generate portrait images. These are big images of the object that display like in UIs in game. We would generate that from the voxel file. Unfortunately, getting that exactly right for all objects is kind of a lot of work, and we're focusing more on gameplay at the moment. So for now, I just make the portraits manually. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of like a tax on my time. We'll fix it eventually. I'm sure you guys would rather have features, so would we. So that's where we're focusing our time. Oh, how many people are working on the game? There are 5 of us. You can see little voxelized portraits of us. Are there 5 of us? Yeah, I think there are 5. Wait, me, Tony, Stephanie, Chris, Albert, Doug. 6. You're right, Avaria. There's 6 of us, and you can see like little voxelized portraits of us on our Steam page. Sorry guys for your portraits. I'm apologizing to my team members because I don't know, it's hard to capture someone in a little bit of voxels. Okay, so let's go back to our portrait. I just have to do one thing to it. Where are we at? Entities, decoration, stone garden lantern. Open this thing up in Photoshop. And I have an action which puts a border around this thing. Uh-oh. Where's my action window? I have a feeling it's because it's gone. Window. Actions? Where are you at? Where are you, actions? It's probably off screen somewhere. Alright, I'm not going to worry about finding that. So this thing should have a border. But I think I'm on a smaller desktop when I stream, and I think it's off my desktop. So we'll just leave it like that. Let's run this thing and see if it works. Oh no, one more thing. So I need to add that to the list of Mason recipes. So we'll go in here and say jobs, Mason, recipes. Look at the recipe file. This is the index of all the recipes that the Mason knows how to craft. And under decoration, this should be birdbath. We're gonna add a new decorative thing, which is our stone garden lantern. Now, wouldn't it be awesome if we had a tool that would do all this and you could just type a couple of fields and it would, like, fill in all the details? That would be awesome. One day I'll write that tool, but that day is not today. Let's run the game. Okay. We have an error. Invalid file path, Stonehearth jobs, Mason recipes. Okay, so I screwed up my JSON. Somehow this is not valid JSON. Oh no, it's a stone garden recipe that it doesn't like. So let's open that. Yeah, stone garden didn't like this. Why not? Stone garden lantern recipe.json. Stone garden lantern recipe.json. Huh, something in here isn't valid. Okay, to the web. this is a JSON validator. It'll tell me what's wrong. It's okay. What's your problem? Hmm. That's definitely it. Anybody see it? Ah, my file path is wrong? Wait, where? The file path should be decorations, not furniture. Oh, did I put the recipe in? No, wait, the recipe's right here. Oh, typo. There's a missing N. There we go. And, yeah, so decoration, stone garden lantern, entities, decoration, stone garden lantern. That's right. It used to be furniture, and I think I did change it. Thanks, though. Okay, boom. Validated. Okay, so let's build this workshop. Let's turn it up to double X speed. Oh, look, I got Sam Jackson. Okay, so, uh-oh, we have some kind of typo in our portrait. Let's see what we got. How do we screw that up? Stone garden lantern. I think that's in the ghost. No. Stone garden lantern.ping. That should work. Let's see. Stonehearth, entities, decoration, stone garden lantern with an N, stone garden lantern.ping. Huh. Okay, I'm not sure why that's broken, but I have a way of debugging that. So we're going to attach debugger to this thing to see what it thinks it's looking at. This is Chrome DevTools. Our UI is a web app. Like literally there's a browser rendered on top of the game. So I can use Chrome's debugging capability to figure out what's going on here. Except it's not like... Wow, what's your problem? Oh, do I have multiple windows open? I have multiple windows open. Alright, it attached to the other one. Go away. Go back. Run. The ping path says furniture instead of decoration. Ah, thank you. Wait, where? No, it doesn't. There's no furniture. We're all good. Right? In the recipe, do we have a... No. Stone garden lantern recipe. You're so right. Yeah, this is actually a wart. We should actually look up the portrait from the item itself. We shouldn't have to doubly define that. I'll file a bug later. Good catch, thanks. Now I don't get to attach the debugger, but I'm sure I'll screw something else up later. Oops. Go away. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to speed up the game. So that I don't have to hit that fast forward button, and it'll make you go even faster, 3x speed. Wow, now you're hard to click on. Build your workshop, Abby. Okay, so here we go. It's still broken. No, this is good news. I get to attach my debugger now. Bring my window back. Alright, what do you think you're looking at? Right, so these are all the HTML elements in the web page. It's pretty cool. And that image is entities furniture. Did I not save it? Is it really that stupid? Decoration, file save, file save. Sorry, Barry. But thank you for the catch. Boom. It's still broken. Why is it still broken? Entities, decoration, stone garden lantern, stone garden lantern.ping. Bring up DevTools. reattach. That's so weird. I don't get it. Stonehearth entities, decoration, stone garden. Okay, let's try this. Maybe I didn't say. Will the Mason come out in Alpha 7? Yes. Mason will definitely come out in Alpha 7, Backman. Along with a bit of mining, not all of it, but some of it. Yeah, it's not... Weird. Let's do this. Open. Entities. Decoration. Stone garden lantern. Stone garden lantern. This isn't recipes, never mind. Stonehearth. Jobs. Mason. Recipes. Stone garden lantern. Oh! I was probably editing that one. Yeah. Declaration. File. Close all files. So Sublime has a nasty habit of keeping files open even after they've been deleted. It'll just happily, and then if you save it, rewrites it to disk and doesn't warn you or anything. It's one of the few things about Sublime that annoys me. In general, it's like an incredibly amazing program and I love it. Now, third time's a charm, right? Boom! Here's our new garden lantern. Okay, so I said that there were 3 forms of an entity, right? Let's make one, and I'll show you what I mean. So, we're gonna craft, and watch this. The mason saws. We need a new anim. We need like a chiseling anim. But anyway, let's make a stockpile to clean this stuff up, right? So one form of an entity is the iconic form, and that's this, right? So no matter how big or small an item is, we have one. Let's pause this. Stop moving around, guys. That is roughly this size, so that everything is sort of a uniform size when it's in the stockpile, and that's the icon, right? This lantern, okay, so the second form is the form when it's actually placed in the world, right? So here you can see it gets a little bit bigger, right? Well, bing. Okay, so that's the second form. And the third form, if I pause it, is what we call the ghost, and that is this form, the form that's sort of like indicates that, hey, this thing's going to be built here, but it's not the actual thing. It's just sort of an indicator of the thing. But it has like commands that you can put on it, like move it again, right? So if I select this, it's got a move, undeploy command. This is a move command. So those are all 3 different entities, right? Now, a lot of information like the model and the name and stuff is shared between those entities, but they're 3 different entities. So every object, we can undeploy this thing, has 3 different forms. You know, just kind of like fun Stonehearth development facts. Okay, so we made our first item of the stream. Congratulations to us. And these things are starting to fill out. Just for fun, let me show you some of the stuff we got. Stonehearth, furniture. We could craft them. Should we craft them? Let's craft them. No, we're not. We're not gonna do that. Decoration, bird bath. Let's make some bird baths. Just put them down, right? Right. So the idea behind the mason is that he crafts, you know, furniture and decoration like the carpenter. But I wanted, let's craft some stuff. I wanted him to be themed more towards outdoor stuff because it seemed to make sense, you know. To have stone, things like statues and obelisks and things like that are more naturally outdoorsy kinds of things. So I'm just gonna make like kind of a cool little water temple here. Let's put that there. Move these things over so they line up. The sun's about to go down. Right, what else have we got? So yeah, so like you notice, like I said before, he saws and it sounds like a saw because to make the mason, I sort of copy pasted the carpenter. We need to change all those assets, right? So there's our lantern. It's going super fast because the game speed is set to 3x, but you know, It works. It's pretty. Let's finish up our garden. Let's put some like sitting chairs. Sitting chairs, like there's another kind of chair. Maybe, where's another chair? There's the other chair. Right, so we're yep. So that's the mason. Will the mason use a hammer eventually instead of a saw and stone? Yes, he will use a hammer and chisel. Is it 6:30? Oh yeah, we started at 6. I thought we started at 5. Yes, in fact, let's go do that now. Should we do it now? We could, or we could make more stuff. Let's make more stuff. So eventually, and eventually meaning by Alpha 7, I'll replace the saw animation with a, he'll sort of go with a hammer and chisel. Can you see that? No, like, well, you can't really see that either. Yeah, so we'll have it. He'll have a new animation and a new effect, and it'll sound like a hammer striking stone. Let's go back to our scratch pad. Well, and mark something off. Where's our lantern? Garden lantern. Done. We could do a wall version of the lantern, but that seems kind of boring. Let's make a gargoyle. That'll be fun. Let's make a gargoyle. Oh yeah, this thing that I'm bringing up, you guys are talking about Tiny World. I don't know if you're referring to this. This is a test world. We have all kinds of test worlds that we use to test different features of the game. Because it's a real pain to run the full game just to test like a tiny thing, like did I get that lantern recipe right? A brazier for fires, that's pretty good. Let's add it to that list. So that would go under, let's call this like a fire brazier? I don't know, I'm guessing. I think it's a pretty good guess. We'll put it with lanterns, because it's kind of like a stylized lantern, right? Will there be a way to remove silkweed plants in the wild? Yes, eventually, Cultus. We will have a way of removing anything you want, bushes, silkweed. It'll be like a harvest command, but instead of harvest, it'll be like sort of destroy all the things that I drag over. Test like multiplayer. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a test world when we start working on multiplayer. The nice thing about the test world is that it loads really, really quickly. We don't do a lot of all the math to calculate, you know, mountains and all that stuff. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh yeah, we're gonna make a gargoyle. Let's make a gargoyle. So the gargoyle is gonna be a copy of the wooden wall lantern, just right here. Is that the wooden wall? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's get rid of the red skate. This is gonna be interesting. Alright, let's grab the right kind of gray and let's just like, let's just party on this thing. Back to the Google. I probably misspelled. Yep, I did. Thanks, Google. Yeah, so we're looking for something like this, or like, you know, like a head. Not like this. Something like this. Something that you could like stick on the side, or like this. That's a good one. That you could stick on the side of your buildings and just have like, you know, a decorative thing. Or like that, only just the head, not something more like that. Yeah. Ah, lots of different forms. Some are like feline, some are like, I don't know what that is. It's almost like a griffin. That's a really good one. Alright, I feel good. What am I doing? Let's do this. Make a new solid, 10 by 10 by 10. There. Like that. Wow, that's not nice, Opex. Shame on you. Shame on you. Okay, let's see. I think I need more space. Modify, stretch. Let's make it deeper, like 16. Pretty good. And see, I want some kind of a snout, so I'm just gonna really roughly start to carve away. First we'll do one profile, then we'll do the other profile, and then we'll have something. Doesn't need to be this wide. Okay, something like that. So that gives me a basic form. Now let's make this snout. Something like that. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna handle the eyes. I could do it a couple of different ways. I could put them, well, on the front or on the side. Kind of feel like if I put it on the side, it would give it more of a reptilian look. A stone goblin head with light coming out of the eyes and mouth. Oh my god. That's kind of a cool idea. That's a cool idea. But, I don't know. I kind of feel like if it's a goblin head, that would be a little bit... That's kind of a gory image. Right? I don't want it to look like you have goblin heads spiked onto your, you know, like heads on pikes. That's not what we're going for here. Not what we're going for here at all. So, let's see. But I do want it to look a little bit, you know, ghoulish. Is ghoulish the right word? I think it's the right word. Like, and also like it's made of stone, not like it's, trying something with the eye here. I don't want it to look like a gray version of an actual head. You know what I mean? I want it to look like it's, you know, gothic, I guess. You know, like it's carved, like it's definitely a carving, and it's stylized, sort of like this. Like, so I'm going with more of like a griffin type thing. I think I need an odd number of voxels. Right, something like that. And then I want this eye to pop. Let's see if we can do that. It's not bad. I'm just working on one side and then I'll flip it. Let's try taking this and making it. But if it's a gargoyle, I do like your idea of the open mouth. Oh, by the way, guys, like as we go and this channel becomes more of a thing, I'll try to do giveaways for followers. So if you like the game or you like watching me or whatever, by all means hit the follow button, and maybe like every alpha or every month or something we'll do a giveaway to followers. Copies of the game, I don't know, whatever else we can think of. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm trying to resize this thing. It needs to be bigger. Does it need to be bigger? It would be nice if it wasn't so big. Yeah, let's try getting by with what we have. The reason why I like this is because, so we have a 10-to-1 ratio of voxels, of I guess, objects like this to actual voxels in the game. Like, eventually this thing's going to be in a wall, right? And 10 of these is one voxel. So if I was going to attach it to a wall, it would attach to, like, that voxel of the wall, like, right there. And so it's convenient if it happens to fit on one voxel. Otherwise, you know, if it fits on 1.5 voxels, then it gets hard to put multiple ones, stack them up if you want to do that. So I'm going to try to keep it within this sort of 10 by 10 frame, just so it'll fit evenly. But let's try to open up this mouth, because I think that's a cool look. Let's see. I have to remember that I'm trying to make it look like it's made out of stone, so all the forms should be simplified. Simple, simple, simple. Take our dark. Oh, is this the... Am I using the darkest? No, I didn't think so. Alright. Take the inside of the mouth, make it dark. Maybe we can do something cool with teeth. It's not bad. Make an owl statue. You know what, Backman? I'm shocked that you said that. I'm not shocked, but whatever. It's cool that you said that because when I moved the beak up, I was actually thinking owl, that it looked a little bit owly. So let's run with that. I think we're gonna go for like owl, maybe not literally an owl, but owl inspired kind of deal. So I'm trying to like make something that's feathery over here. Let's do a mirror real fast. So I get this, make sure I got the silhouette down right. Right, it's kind of gargoyle-y. I did that. Trying to get an impression of nostrils. Excuse me. Is it going to be found in ruins, or is it going to be made by the mason? This gargoyle will be made by the mason. Definitely made by the mason. Let's see. Let me get my whole palette on this thing, just so I know what I'm dealing with. Just temporarily put it down here. There. Okay, so these are the colors I have to work with, so we'll grab the darker one. Try to push that back. That doesn't really work. Oops. Go back. Huh, 10 points for Gryffindor. Yeah. Thanks. So I'm not really unhappy with the basic shape. I feel like I want like some kind of like wing element. Maybe going off to the side, or is that too totemy? It's probably too much of a totem look, so forget I said that. Forget I said that. Let's try to maybe have some kind of central. Yeah, that's better. And let's make the bottom jaw darker. Just try to push it, almost like baking in shadows. Try to push it into the background a little bit. And I want kind of a vertical element here. Maybe like, and carry that up. There. Okay, I do need to resize. Resize. 3 more ought to be enough. This might be an utter failure. Do that. Let's take these out. Yeah, it's starting to overpower the thing. Figured I did that. Let's do it this way. Do that. Bring this in. Back one. Ooh, wait. That kind of worked, actually. Yeah. This like this. This like this. Should we connect these two things? Maybe. Not bad. A totem would be perfect. Totems, I like the idea of totems, and we were actually talking about totems a couple of days ago in the office. But the totem, when there are totems, not if, when there are totems, the totems will belong or be crafted by, guess who? The carpenter. Because totems are usually made of wood. The idea we're playing around with now is that when your carpenter hits max level, and this is not a horribly original idea, but it's cool, so we'll probably do it. When he hits max level, every now and then, he'll like, you know, inspiration will strike the carpenter, and it'll make like or he'll want to make something awesome. And if you want that awesome thing, he won't tell you what it is, but if you want that awesome thing that he's totally inspired by, then you need to get him his materials that he's asking for. And then if he gets the materials, he'll be like, oh, this is great. And he'll make that awesome thing. And one of those awesome things will be like, you know, this really huge totem that you can like put in your town and just show off like, I'm so great. But if you want that thing, you know, you have to, he'll ask for like some crazy stuff. It's like, what? How am I going to get that? And he'll give you like 3 days to get it or something like that. That's kind of the idea. This thing is ugly. I mean, I know it's a gargoyle and it's kind of supposed to be ugly. I'm worried about this jaw, this lower jaw. It's not really working for me. Let's try and nuke it. I feel like that makes the thing read a lot better. Maybe we can find a way to bring it back, but I'm going to get rid of it for now. If not, he goes crazy and murders a bunch of people. Yeah, that's the end of that idea, Joljar. But not in Stonehearth. Yeah, a while ago we had to figure out what kind of game we were making, and it's kind of a more cheerful, optimistic game. So when bad things happen, people do not go crazy and murder their townmates. Sorry. I'm not sure how successful this giant eye socket is either. I'm gonna try nuking it. Although I kind of liked it, but I'm gonna try something that's a little more subtle. Just do like that. And then that. We can try the other way of like carving the eye into the head. Just because that was, I mean, that's such a strong, huge element, right? It's tough for it to read as an eye. We can try like bringing that out. No, that doesn't work either. What made you choose to go with the mason before the blacksmith? Oh, cultist. That's an easy question to answer. Our tech tree, or in fact the main line of our tech tree is like carpenter, mason, blacksmith. The carpenter is like the sort of the root of your tech tree that unlocks a lot of professions, including the farmer and the, what else? The shepherd. No, not the shepherd. The farmer, the mason, lots of stuff. And then to upgrade, so you need the carpenter to get the mason, and then you need the mason to get the blacksmith. The mason crafts the blacksmith's hammer. We want sort of the main tiers of tech to be sort of your wood-based economy, and then your stone-based economy, your metal-based economy, finally. And the inspiration for that is actually, believe it or not, StarCraft, where you've got the Zerg, and they've got like your hatchery, and then your lair, and then your hive, right? And every time you upgrade, you get like, and also a little bit of Civ, you get like major sort of enhancements every time you upgrade. Or you unlock major sort of portions of tech. So that's kind of the route we're taking. So we're just like marching methodically through our tech tree, or I guess down our tech tree. So first we built the carpenter and all of the tech, not all, but a lot of the tech that you get as a carpenter, like the farmer, and like finally the maces. And now we'll build the mason and that tier of tech, and then, you know, in alpha, I don't know, 8 or 9, we'll get to the blacksmith. Yep. Yeah, Matrodon. I mean, we're a city builder, but we're taking the scale of a city builder down from like a big, huge city to like a medieval town. And by taking the scale down, you know, smaller number of buildings, stuff like that, it means that we can really ramp up. This is looking all right. I'm not really disappointed in this anymore. We can really focus on the detail. So you're gonna have a smaller number of buildings, but you get to custom design each one if you want. And you have like a smaller number of citizens, or than say like SimCity, obviously, but we get to add RPG mechanics to every single one. So that's really sort of where we see the game going, and that's kind of what we wanted to build from the start, was something that mixed city building strategy games with some of the mechanics and feel that you get in an RPG. That, in a nutshell, is Stonehearth. Strategy plus sim strategy plus RPG. That's us. So when I'm voxel modeling, anytime I get like kind of a stair-steppy pattern, like see what's going on, like in let's see if I can highlight this because I know you guys can't see my cursor. Like this area of the head, of the old head, which I've now abandoned, where it's like, you know, stair-steppy. I try to eliminate that. I don't like that look because I feel like the lighting on this stair-step really interferes with like the silhouettes. I like having a strong silhouette like here, right? And a strong silhouette here, although that's not the strongest. Like this is my best one, right? And so, you know, just like adding this row of voxels to me like really cleans up the design because now I can see like, you know, the surface around this eye socket much better. So that's like just a trick that I learned sort of on my own about how I like to style these. And I don't like that nostril hole. It's too much. If I do that, oh, maybe I was right the first time. It is a lot. We'll let it rock and see how it looks. Okay, so this has definitely got like, you're dead. Let's fill this in with the color just because like it's bothering me that it's all white. Okay, we've definitely got kind of a Griffin-y owl type feel. Can I move this in? Would that improve the design? I think it does. Let's simplify it a little bit. That's not bad. What do you guys think? Take it in. Now imagine like a lot of them. Not a lot, but like, you know, you got one there and one there on either side of a door or something. I know it's very gray. Are fences eventually going to be placeable like ladders? Yeah, a variant. Eventually you'll be able to, not like ladders, but like, you know, in the building designer, you can just sort of drag out rectangles and you get floor. You'll be able to do that. Like, you'll be able to drag out a rectangle and then put a fence in it, and we'll put like fences around the perimeter of that rectangle that you dragged out. The way that they work now, where like you craft every single one and then you place every single one manually, is not going to be the way it works eventually. We know that that's tedious and annoying. Hey, that worked out. It's just, you know, can't do everything at once. Can you, Tom, can you R small detail blocks? What? I don't. Put in. Can you put in small detail blocks? Oh, I see what you're saying. Will they paint or an artist class? I don't know. I like that idea. I'm not sure what they would do. I mean, we've messed around with the idea of like some kind of advanced artisan, which we use as sort of a catch-all for like making, you know, paint and dyes and stained glass and stuff like that. This thing's too big. There's something wrong with it. Let's fix it. Like that. Yeah. And I want to add. Okay. I need like something that's 10 by 10. Let's count. I want to add something to using my dark color. Okay. Oh, am I done? I'm done. That's all I got. I want to add like a fixture so that this thing will look like it's attached to the wall, and that needs to be 10 by 10. And this thing is 10, right? So it'll be like that. Or I guess it could be 8 by 10, but it needs to be bigger than this thing is, so that you can actually see it. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine like it's the plaque behind the boar head that's mounted on your wall. If you know what I mean. So let's count voxels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9, 10. 9, 10. Okay. Right there. And it's the same color as this thing. Let's change this thing's color so I can see it. Right. Okay, and let's resize this. Modify, stretch, make it 20 by 20. There. So imagine this is like your stone wall that you have this thing attached to, right? And there, the gargoyle would sit off of it like that. Yeah, cultists. That's kind of what we were thinking with this random artisan class. Is that, yeah, you give him stuff and he gives you like better versions of the stuff, fancier versions. So yeah, like painting is a good example, or dyeing or whatever else, or I don't know. Yeah. We hear you. That is something, honestly, that if it came, is going to be a long time coming. We feel like after Alpha 7, when we get the who's this guy? The Mason. When we get the Mason in, and we get eventually, well, it's just the Mason. We feel like crafting is in like not bad shape actually. So after that, we're gonna move on to, or not move on to, but our point of emphasis will be more of the combat. Get combat fleshed out, because right now combat is incredibly basic. We want to do a lot more with combat, and then also move on to filling in sort of dynamic content. Like right now, the goblins are pretty lame. I mean, it's a good start. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to hate on the goblins, but it's really basic what they do right now. I want to have another feather that reinforces this feather. So we want to like have like actual. I don't want to spoil. I really don't want to spoil, but I'll spoil a little bit. We want to have, and it's what you guys are asking for, and so it's not going to be a surprise to anybody. Like instead of goblins appearing out of the ether and coming to assault your village, we want to have like an actual goblin camp that is in the world, and you can see it, and you can see what's going on there. And then the goblins are coming from surprise the camp, and then you can like choose to do something about this. It's like, well, darn it, the goblins are over there, and they're like messing me up. Like, what do I do about this? Did that get too thin? I don't think so. Right, so that's the kind of stuff that gives you like kind of a longer arc of gameplay, right? It's like, oh, there's a town over there. Not like a full-fledged city like yours, but maybe like a camp, like I said. And now you got to think about, well, what am I going to do about this camp? And that resolving that conflict or that problem could take like a long time in game. It could take like, you know, hours or something. So that's what we want to focus on post Alpha 7. For now, in Alpha 7, crafting, mining. Can we move that? Is that? Yeah, that's even better. Okay. So that's that. I mean, that was kind of a super long-winded answer, but you guys got some new information, so I hope you don't mind. Our goblet, the goblins will have villager headlamps. Wow, you're, oh boy. A few people had this question. Are there still plans for an upgradable workshop for crafters? Yeah, we put that on hold. We kind of have it right now with your crafters learning new recipes as they level up. It's just one of those priority things. Like, how cool would it be to do that compared to how cool would it be to have, like I said, all the, you know, control of your combat units, or this, you know, goblins actually have a town featured. And we have decided that it would be much cooler to focus on those things instead of upgradable workshops. So we still like the idea. The idea is not dead by any means, but it's on hold for the time being. you know, like we have the idea of, well, you have the weaver, maybe like you can upgrade the weaver to give her a spinning wheel, and then that's a really bad idea. The eye, not the spinning wheel. And then when the weaver has the spinning wheel, she can like work twice as fast or unlocks some different recipes. Is that a good idea? It's an awesome idea, but not what we're going to focus on right now. Because, you know, making the weaver a little bit better is compared to, you know, unlocking new kinds of play. Alright, I think this thing is like ready for a drop-in in the game. We can see what it looks like. Let's try it. Alright. This thing is a wall decoration, so I'm going to take an existing wall decoration, which is the wooden wall lantern, and copy it and call it a gargoyle. I'm going to check the spelling on that before I like crank it out 1,000 times. Gargoyle, got it right. I was thinking about calling it a stone gargoyle, but that's kind of redundant, so it's just a gargoyle. 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 Let's copy that. The reason why I copied... We don't need a fine version right now. The reason why I copied the wooden wall lantern is because by copying... That's the closest thing I've got to the gargoyle. And so it already has all of the right components to say, hey, I'm something that attaches to a wall or things like that. Like if we look at the gargoyle's JSON, it says that placeable on walls in the entity forms component. True. So this is the bit of, I guess, data that tells the entity forms component, hey, I can be placed on walls. And so when you're building stuff, the building system goes through all the entities and says which ones have the Stonehearth entity forms component and are placeable on walls, and then it lets you place those things on the walls. So great. Let's go. So I want to replace wooden wall lantern with just gargoyle. Replace all. That's good. It does not need light effect, so we can use that. Okay, moving on. Let's look at the ghost. Whoa, what did I do? I ran the game. Die. Replace all. So this scale lets you scale things up. The wooden wall lantern is scaled up. I don't want to scale up the gargoyle. Let's just leave it at that. Its name is a... So just in case you don't know what a gargoyle is in your new player, I'm going to call this like a wall-mounted decorative gargoyle, right? That's that. Let's make the image. Oh wait, I have to actually, like, hold on. I gotta do a lot of stuff. So that was the ghost. Let's look at the icon. Gargoyle. Okay, so here, for the wall lantern, the icon and the actual object share the same model. Here, I'm gonna need a new model because this thing is bigger than 10 by 10 by 10 voxels, which is the size of all icons. It is a decoration. That's great. Now what? We need to make the icon. And we need to export this puppy into like a real thing. So let's copy this, open, save, decoration, gargoyle. So that was the wall lantern. Here's the gargoyle. Let's line it up. Boink. Just like that. Okay. Are we done? We're done. That's that. Export it. Binary format. Gargoyle. QB. There's our gargoyle. Okay, now we're gonna make a new. Actually, let's just stretch this. Modify, stretch. Make it 10 by 10 by 10. 10 by 10 by 10. It looks horrible. It's alright, we'll change it. We'll fix it. So in the icons, like, we really go super, super simple. Because, I mean, they're tiny. You don't need a lot of detail. You just have to get the point across so that you can easily see what this thing is supposed to be when it's sitting in your stockpile. So, like, I'm reducing the number of colors I'm using. Just trying to really keep it simple and clean. That works. Flip it. Whoa. What are you guys talking about? Is there going to be a way to keep goblins away from your town, like having a footman scream, "You shall not pass"? Yeah, we are looking at alternatives to combat. So, right, I mean, when we were talking the Kickstarter, we were really sort of hyping up the idea that, like, you know, your town is what you want it to be. If you don't want to be sort of the baddest kid on the block and you're making more of, like, you know, I don't know, something more peaceful, you can do that. Now you may have to, like, do something else, like find a diplomatic solution or something like that. We're not going to go all Civ on this because that's a lot of work and not the point of emphasis of the game. But we don't want the only way. We want other ways of resolving conflict besides kill them all. It's not going to be as deep as Civ or something like that, where you have, like, you know, send an ambassador and all this other stuff. That's just beyond us as a small indie team. But we'll provide something other than kill them all. That's pretty good. Save as. CSH entities. Where are we at? Decoration. Gargoyle. So this is the Gargoyle iconic. Now we'll export it. Gargoyle iconic. Okay, cool deal. Let's go back to our Gargoyle and make the icon. Or not the icon, the portrait. Center them up. Export. Render as. Gargoyle. Oh. Are we done? I think we're getting close to done. Oh, you guys are asking about magic? Sorry, what was the magic question? Oh, well, right, magic, blah, blah, blah. So magic, to have, like, interesting magic, you need ranged combat, and we don't have ranged combat yet. I mean, really, that's why there's no magic yet. So, you know, we'll get there. We're not anti-magic by any means, but we do want magic to be sort of towards the end of the tech tree. We don't want you to have, like, you know, level 1 mage running around 5 minutes into the game. So there will be magic eventually. I forgot what I was doing. We're making the Gargoyle. Making the Gargoyle. Let's add them to the manifest. Alright, I'm going to try to keep these streams 2 hours long. So we're a little more than halfway home. Now we need to add the recipe. Is this right? Yeah, that's right. So now we go into jobs, Mason, recipes. Doesn't matter. Actually, let's go to decoration so I don't have typos again. What's decoration? Garden lantern. I'm just waiting for the typo I have on Gargoyle. It's gotta be around here. I've typed it way too many times to not screw it up. Copy paste. Easy. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, so our order of development in general, I mean, we are still alpha, which means we are actively developing features. The game is not feature complete. So we want to get the game, sort of core single player game, a lot closer to feature complete. And we're getting there, and the good news is our pace continues to accelerate. For a while, we were building core tech in the engine. We built our own engine in C++. That is almost entirely behind us, so we're picking up steam. When the game is in much better shape and closer to single, we feel like we have a fun, good, engaging single-player game that you can play for a long time. Then we'll move on to both porting to different platforms, Mac and Linux, and also adding multiplayer. Because having a not boring, but limited single player game and a limited multiplayer game is not really that great. You kind of have, well, yeah, you can play with your friend, but you can really only play for like 10 or 20 hours before it gets boring, and then you move on to the next thing, and that's no good for anybody, at least to all. Well, it's not good for anybody. So yeah, solid, cool, awesome single player game on Windows, then solid, cool, awesome multiplayer game everywhere. That's sort of our order of priorities. What's been announced? What are we talking about? I don't know. Sorry. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Epic Tombstone. Yeah, actually a couple of people suggested an upgraded Tombstone. It's not a bad idea. It's actually a pretty good idea. It's a little bit morbid, but whatever. Did I add? Yeah, I added to the recipe. I think I'm done. I think these are craftable now. I can't think of anything that I've forgotten. Let's check it out. Go. Good job. I didn't mess anything up. Look at that. Let's make it. Yeah, there he is. There's our gargoyle head. Looks alright. Alright, now we need a wall to place it on. So, go into the building designer, design a custom building. Let's just make a wall. Let's make a stone wall, just because, I don't know. Why not? Okay, now I'm going to cheat. Okay, great. Now, we can take this thing and put it on the wall. Looks good, looks good, looks good. See, that component's working well. Okay, so now, Elena built the ladder. Now she's going to grab the gargoyle head, put it on the wall. Go, girl! Look at that. Look at that. It's kind of tough to see. I definitely want to change the color of this stone wall. I think it's too dark. Let's do this. Let's make a whole house. Let's make... Oops. Let's make just a cottage. Is that going to work? That's not really good. I don't have enough surface area. I don't have enough surface area there either. Alright, let's design a custom building. Let's grab this. Seven. Pop some walls on this thing. Here. Yeah. Okay, roof. What color? Blue? No. Brown? Brown. Raise it up a little bit. I like that. Let's get a nice door. Really nice. Okay, now we're gonna garg it up. These will make sense when you can build like castle-y looking buildings, which will come soon. Let's cheat. Okay. Oops. We got bugs. What are you doing? What? No, don't do that. It's already built, ladies. All right, let's try again. My cheat is buggy. You like the dark stone color for the wall? Yeah, okay, that's fine. It'll stay. All right, I like that feedback. We'll just make a different color of the slider. Okay, so I wanted to go nuts with the gargoyles. Let's just make a big wall. And I want a corner too, so we'll do that. Okay, now let's make a stack file, just make sure we're clean and tidy. Close console, Stonehearth, decoration, gargoyle. See it? Oop. Make icon gargoyles. Put them in the world. Okay, now we got a lot of icons. Or a lot of. Oh, actually, I didn't need to do that. Here, I can just make like actual gargoyles. Put them in the walls. No, I can't. All right. Now I ought to be able to place some items. Yeah, I got 10 gargoyles. Let's go. Let's go. I shouldn't have to click this over and over again. I have another bug. Ha ha ha. That is pretty awesome. I want more now. I want like 4 different varieties. Like this is kind of our owl spirit. I want like a bear spirit and whatever. You know, can't go without having a dragon. That's pretty cool looking. Yeah, thanks for whoever suggested the owl. What else is up? Yeah, let's cheat development edition. For a while, we didn't rock cheat keys because we wanted to make sure that we were testing. Like, the only testing we had was us working on the game. And then once we got to, like, you know, alpha, like, 3, alpha 4, we're thinking, all right, this is, like, in a pretty good spot. Let's just add some freaking cheat keys. So that's that. Okay. Let's go back to our project management worksheet. Indie style. Gargoyle's done. We got a long ways to go. We got a long ways to go in like 35 minutes. Well, we can continue this on Thursday. Obviously, we're not going to do all this. What's next? Should we make a... You guys tell me what you want to see. Pick something from this list. I should, like, use snap pull. I'll get better at this, don't worry. We'll use snap pull next time. Roads. You guys want to see roads? Here, let me show you roads. I was gonna do a Desktop Tuesday on roads, but then like I had so much prep to do for the stream. Maybe next time Desktop Tuesday can be on roads, but you want to see them? Let's go. Oh, you don't want to see them? You want me to do the fire brazier instead of roads? A wall gate? A statue. Statue's boring because a statue's just like a dude, but he's gray. Alright, hold on. Let me make notes. What do you guys want to see? I'm hearing calls for the brazier. You guys wanted to see that? You wanted to see a door? Wait, what did you want to see? Wall gate. This thing, the wall and the wall gate, we'll do that one. And then, you know, I'll do these in order. Roads. Oh, you do want to see roads. Here's the road builder. It looks a lot like the building designer. So what I can do is I can say I get to pick a material and whether or not I want a curb on the road. So let me just show you what these things look like. First we'll do like, I don't know, something like this. Now these are still definitely work in progress, right? Let's not have, move that, remove. This is a work in progress. So if it bugs out or doesn't work properly, I warned you. but I can make like a big road over here, right? That's sort of what that one looks like. Here's what this other one looks like. And curbs are no curbs, right? This one has a curb. Let's to build these. Let's see what they look like. Right. So there's a road. Now, things that we want to change, the curb is way too high. We want it to look like a curb, and now it looks like kind of a little wall. I like the patterns. This one's kind of a red brick. But let's chop down this tree. Boom. Let's see these in action. Right? Oh, that's not going to work. Hold on. You're getting a very distorted look at the road because my speed is jacked up. Let's set game speed back to 1 and do this again. Alright, I've never done this before, what I'm about to do. So, let's see. Let's make a big old road. Let's have them build it. Why not? So, to build this road, you need stone. Right now, it's hard to get stone in Alpha 5. 6? What are we on? Alpha 6. But, in Alpha 7, when you can mine, stone will be plentiful. So, right, when they need to build the road, she just like floors, she mines out the sort of region. She's gonna be at it a while, and then she'll build the road with stone, right? So cool stuff. I don't want to be here forever. Let's restart. Hey Ronald, to delete Stonehearth in Steam, you can like right click on it in the Steam client, and then I think it's like properties, and then there's a entry to browse file location, and then once you're at the file location, just like pop up a directory and delete it, and then it should reinstall. I don't know if it does it automatically, but whatever. But yeah, right click on Stonehearth in Steam and then look at the options. Okay, so we got a road. Let's chop down some trees. Go. Okay, here we will fast forward. Mason, you're useless. Here, just build something. Just do something. Don't be so useless. Alright, we're done. Now let's put a stockpile right here. See what happens. Alright, that was anticlimactic, because there's stuff over there. Oh, back to normal speed. Right, so there she goes. She's on the road. And you can see she gets a little faster on the road. Right. Yeah. Look at her go. Right, so normally she would do sort of straight line pathfinding directly to the stockpile. So people get a little bit faster when they're on roads, and they much prefer to walk on roads because it's, of course, better than going cross country. Right, so yay, there are roads. Right, so I am a little bit excited about roads because it lets us do, it really lets us do stuff like makes your town look like a town, like you can very easily imagine. Come on, house doesn't want to build next to the workshop, right? Boink. Right, just having that road there, it kind of gives like a little bit of structure. Oops. Windows everywhere. It's almost like the bones of your town, right? Having that just sort of like, you know, grounds things, and now my town just looks more like a town, right? And I can sort of take this and, you know, move it inside. Maybe this is like the Mason's crib, and then I can go like Stonehearth. I should really disable the camera when you're typing. Decoration. What do we call the pink flowers in the game? I should know this. Bright bell. Bright bell, right? You can start like, you know, doing stuff like this, right? I mean, roads just sort of like tie everything together. So, right, now it's a town. So I'm excited. I think these are going to be awesome. Will Stonehearth have a type? a type of, you know, like a huge open world. Oh, what? Wow, Ronald, Ronald, I don't know what you're saying, man. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we've just started on the road thing. Um, we kind of, you know, what a couple of other games do, which is a nice idea, is they have like their existing roads or whatever already on the map, and if you connect your roads to those roads, you get access to trade. We don't have anything super solid in place yet. Um, you know, part of the appeal of Stonehearth for us is the idea that like you're sort of really like settling in open territories. The idea that there are already roads there is counter to that, and we don't want there to be an edge of the map eventually. So TBD, we'll think about it some more. Tell us what you think on our forum, discourse.stonehearth.net. Yes, Cultus. Cultus says, the carpenter sign, the weaver sign, will those be indicators that the building is the carpenter's house, for example? I put the bed in the carpenter's building, only the carpenter will sleep there and no one else. That is exactly what we wanted to do. Right now, or before we took it out, people randomly grabbed ownership of a bed. You had no control over it, and we didn't like the way that worked at all, and it led to a lot of spooky behavior where like there'd be a bed next to someone and they'd sleep on the ground instead of the bed. Well, it's because someone else owned the bed and you don't know that, so it just looks like a bug. So we took that out. Eventually we want ownership to work in exactly the way you described, where you'll put a sign on a house and then everything in, and then there'll be some UI to specify, like on the sign you'll be able to say, the sign is a symbol of ownership. So you'll click on the sign, then you'll be able to type in someone's name, not type in, but select a citizen. And then everything in the house, or you could say public, and then everything in the house or that building will belong to the person that you said. And the way you manage it will be by clicking on the signs. So pretty much how you described. That is not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. Because we're working on big, huge gameplay features, which frankly are a lot more fun, like being able to mine and get ore, and then the blacksmith comes in, and combat control and long-term scenarios with like goblin camps that you can raise. All that stuff is what we're planning for the next couple of alphas. And then once that is taken care of, then we'll re-examine priorities. But yeah, good thinking. We were thinking the same thing. Let's do something while I'm answering your questions. What else should we do? What else should we do? You know what? We have a half hour left. Why don't I just answer questions for a while and then mess around? I can show you mining. Because this doesn't really deserve another Desktop Tuesday. But I talked about a couple of things a couple of weeks ago. Things we were going to do for mining. Already goblins messing up my world. And those things have been done. So you can see how it works now. If I see a cave, Ronald asks, and my people can go in there, and they can do a mission or defeat a red dragon. If they finish the quest, they get the red dragon material. Yeah, right. Right. So it's not going to be as structured as something like World of Warcraft, where like there's an actual quest to go defeat the dragon and stuff like that. But we do want to. Part of what I'm talking about with the Goblin Camp and all this stuff is introducing the idea of, explicitly loot, right? So presumably there's stuff in the Goblin Camp that you want. It could be like just straight up money, or it could be materials or something like that. So an incentive to go drive the goblins out will be that you get that loot. And your red dragon is an example, where if there's a dragon, you get something for defeating the red dragon. Gold, armor, whatever. Materials that you can make armor from. Yeah, that's where we want to get, and that's what we'll start focusing on after Alpha 7, taking baby steps in that direction. So I said in Desktop Tuesday that we would unify the mining tools, and we have done that. So it's now way easier. There's no more window to manage multiple tools. I can just sort of drag out stuff, and then I just drag out this mine. Let's just do this and let them work while I answer some more questions, and I'll show you how the tool works. With mining coming out in Alpha 6, what happens? Are we on Alpha 5? What? We just put out Alpha 6. So, you mean Alpha 7. When mining coming out in Alpha 7, what happens when you dig out a floor where an item is placed? The item will fall. I'll show you, actually. I will show you right now. Let's mine right here. So there are 2 items there. Dig a hole, right? And as they dig out the ground underneath those items, they just fall, right? So we have extremely basic physics working in the game, where there's gravity. And now these guys are stuck. But we can get them unstuck by building a ladder. There. Oops. Let's suspend mining on this thing. Somebody build that ladder. Oh, they built it themselves. How did you get wood under? I guess there was wood there. Oh, there totally was. Okay, back to work. Get out of here. So these are the different zones. I said that, remember in X-ray mode in Desktop Tuesday, you could see all the trees and stuff. Now those have been absolutely cleaned up. So this is a really awesome visualization now. I mean, look at that. That is just so freaking cool. I really like this visualization. Let's just leave it there and let them line up. Are there plans for interior walls and doors? Yes. Once again, that'll be something that we will revisit building and have, thanks for the jerky, have interior walls maybe like around like Alpha 10 or something. Like I said, our top priorities right now are combat in these scenarios, but we do want to support interior walls. Cool fact, like the mining tools actually work when you're in this mode too. So like I can come in here and just go boink, right? Isn't that cool? And here's what I meant when I said a smart tool. Like before we had dig out and dig down as 2 separate tools, kind of annoying. Now, based on sort of where you are, the tool is smart enough to know, oh, you were clicked on this wall face, so dig that face out. Or you clicked like here on the floor, we'll dig down. You know, not amazing, but it makes it a lot easier to mine and not have to think about, well, I got this tool and that tool. Right, so look, here's my other hole. Yeah, I love this visualization. I think it's super awesome. Let's come here and make a stockpile out here, just for all that stone. So now we ought to see people coming out of this hole. Yeah, delivering stone. Yeah, there they are. I am so excited for mining. You have no idea. I'm at least as excited as all you guys are. Let's dig down a lot. Let's just see like what that ends up looking like. Mine. So the reason why there's a mine button and then another mine button is because there'll be other landscaping tools here eventually, like you know, adding, like if you want to build like a hill out of dirt or something, doing that stuff. All right, so now we're digging way down. All right, so we got a bug, like the floor disappeared. Yeah, it's still gone. Well, we got bugs. Let's go into slice mode. Yeah, there we go. Now we can go up and down the slices. Wow, we dug really deep. Okay, now we can mine out again, make like a really deep hallway or something. Get out of slice mode, go to X-ray mode. Yeah, see, look at him go. Yeah, it fixed itself. Yeah. Sorry, questions. Water is tricky. Water is tricky. So water, honestly, is not going to be in the game for a while. The thing about water is we want to have a decent simulation of water, right? So if there's a lake and you start digging next to the lake, the water flows, and that is hard. So we'll have water, but honestly, it's not going to come for a while. Yeah, so for increasing population right now, there's a random chance that someone will want to join your town every day if you fulfill some certain requirements, like people are reasonably happy and you have a decent-sized net worth. A lot of people aren't getting that. Like they don't understand that system even exists, because it could be you get unlucky and you don't, the random chance just doesn't happen for the first couple of days. So we're going to change that to make it much more explicit, where like every morning or something, there'll be like an explicit like checkup screen, and we'll say, hey, here's how you did yesterday. Here's the things that you did that make people want to immigrate. Here are the things that are preventing them from immigrating. So you'll know, like, oh, I need like more housing, or oh, I need more food, and And then if you fulfill the requirements correctly every single day, you will get a new settler. But of course, the more settlers you have, the harder it is to get new settlers. But yeah, we just want to like make it very clear and upfront, like, hey, here's why you're not getting new people. Yeah. Yeah, Mason will be in Alpha 7. Alpha 7 will have Mason, mining, roads, maybe some other stuff, but definitely Mason, mining, and roads. Stairs are not going to be implemented quite yet, just because you can get by with ladders. And if you really wanted to, you could build stairs out of slabs. Like here, I'll show you how to build stairs, right? So you go into the building designer, design custom building, give you a slab. Okay, except I broke slabs accidentally. Sorry. Yeah, I broke slabs. But you can kind of do it with floors. Well, no, you can't do it with floors because floors are sunk. But I could build like a slab and another slab and another slab and get stairs that way. Eventually, we'll have a stairs tool like we have a ladder tool. But it's just not like we got bigger fish to fry. This one looks really cool too. I'm so digging mining. I'm so ready for Alpha 7. Will there be an easy fix for workers trapping themselves in buildings mid-construction? Actually, Tony is looking at that now. Atralane, I think, posted a really cool save for us that has pathological pathfinding issues. It's kind of amazing, actually. Like, he has one save that showcases like 5 or 6 different pathfinding bugs. And Tony has been methodically working through that, fixing bug after bug, and one of them is exactly what you mentioned, where workers sometimes box themselves in if you have too much furniture in a building. So we're working on it. I can't promise when the fix will come, but we are aware of it and are working on a fix. Will you be able to have more direct control over footmen? Yes, Squirrel Killer. Check this. Well, it's a 2-hour archive, but yes, we want you to be able to organize footmen in squads and give them coarse grain orders. Not as fun as like an RTS game, but sort of coarse grains, like defend this area or attack this area or something like that. And that will come not in Alpha 7, definitely. Hopefully in Alpha 8. If not Alpha 8, then Alpha 9. That's our next order of business. So after Alpha 7 is out the door, our two next orders of business are combat control, like you're talking about, and better, more enhanced. Why are you in a hole? Why did you go to sleep in a hole? Alton, come on. Anyway, combat control and these richer, more longer term scenarios like Goblin Camp. Those are our top orders of business after Alpha 7. Let's do something. I'm bored. Well, I'm not bored, but I'm like, bored is the wrong word. I'm like eager to keep going and do stuff. I want to do stuff. Let's go back to our Mason thing. We got 15 minutes. Let's try to build one more thing. And you guys said, what did you say you wanted? The stone wall. Stone wall is exciting. Stone wall is definitely exciting. So we've got, let's get these out of here. What do we got? Where's our picket fence? No picket fence. Picket fence. Boom. Picket fence gate. So we need stone versions of these. I think I can get to the picket fence. I don't know if I can get, or the stone wall. I don't know if I can get to the gate yet, but whatever. So first this needs to be thicker. It needs to be 6 thick. Because it's stone, it's thick. And this is 20 by 20 by 6, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it 20 by 20 by 6. Solid. Go. Okay. And I want to put it next to the picket fence, just so I have something to relate it to. Sense of scale, but not. Mining will be in the next alpha, which means it'll be on latest. I don't want to say soon, but the next build we put out on latest will have mining in it. To the Google. You guys know the routine by now. Wow, this is not going to be that helpful. Ancient stone wall. Alright, so now is where we get creative. Pasture. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now this is too rough. I don't want something that rough. That's not bad. And again, I'm not doing this to copy anything. I'm just like paging in information, right? Like something like that, like this sort of country, like stone. That's too rough, but yeah, all right. So before I was thinking that something that's sort of carved, but this makes me think more cobblestone-y, something like that. That's kind of cool how the rocks go one way and then another way, whatever. All right, now I got some ideas. Let's go ahead and put our palette on the cube. Oops, that one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Dracog Helios says, even though the release date of Stonehearth is long gone, yes, it is. It's not that long gone, it's September, but we're certainly not going to hit that, or even close. I'm glad you guys aren't trying to push the game out hastily. Keep and are keeping to how you envisioned it. Thanks for saying that. We were really actually sweating bullets about what to do about. We didn't want to put out something that was compromised, like at all. That was like, it's not why we got into this business. And we are very grateful and thankful that you guys are supportive of our decision to do it the right way and build what we want to build, even though it's taking longer. And that is really helpful to us to know that you guys are behind this like that. So thanks a lot. And I mean, you can tell, I hope you can tell. We really want this thing to be good and to be strong and be something that, we will be proud of. And we want to play it, right? We want to play something that is super awesome and that we've been thinking of for a long time. And we're really committed to making that happen. So we'll keep plugging at it. And for those of you guys who want to stick along for the ride, I'll be streaming twice a week. Totally understand that for some people you just want to get the game, and for you guys I can only say my best recommendation is to check in on us every couple of months. We'll get there, but it is going to take a little while. I'm trying to break up this surface. This may be a horrible idea. It's kind of a bad idea. It's not going to tile well. I'm not really feeling this whole thing at all. Let's try another idea. In the Kickstarter, oh, you backed the Kickstarter. Now I'm afraid you guys have a computational limitation making it possible to have big cities like we imagine. In other words, I believe the complexity of the algorithm is growing too much. Is a pathfinding algorithm going to handle huge cities? That is a reasonable concern. I can tell you that what's huge? Populations of 200? No, out of bounds. You're not going to have a population of 200 in a city. Maybe it's hard for me to give a number, especially since I'm kind of talking out of my depth. You really want to ask this question of probably Tony or Chris. But 50, 60 citizens should be fine. And one thing that we're doing right now is actually taking a good look at the Pathfinder. Like I said, that's exactly what Tony is doing. And he's finding that we pathfind for a lot of things that we don't really need to pathfind for. Just to give you a quick example, when a goblin spawns and he's 200 voxels away from your town, he uses the Pathfinder to get to your town. And that is actually what's causing a lot of the computational effort right now in the game. Is 3 goblins spawn, and those invoke 3 Pathfinders to find a path to your town that's way, way, way far away. Which is unnecessary, because there's another way to get to your town, which is sort of use Dead Reckoning. until you either run into a tree or until you get, you know, pretty darn close to town, and only then start to use pathfinders. So there are some really big optimizations that Tony is making right now, thanks to, like I said, the save game that we got from Atrelane, which exposed a lot of bugs. So pathfinding performance will get better. But yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. I mean, you're not gonna have like 200 citizens in your town. That is definitely true. But we think that we can have a pretty cool, compelling game with, you know, town sizes of sub 100. Let's see. Are there any plans for more stockpile options for maintaining a certain stockpiles with a certain number of resources? I'm not sure what that would mean. So like always have like 3 of these things in the stockpile? I'm not sure what you mean. I would suggest writing a post on the discourse so I can grok it. Like, what would that mean? Like, does it stop putting things in the stockpile when you hit like 5 of them? Or, like, suppose you had 2 stockpiles and both said maintain 10 blocks of wood in the stockpile. Do you mean that, like, I don't know. Please write it on the discourse, because this feels like a longer term conversation. And I will definitely take a look. I can imagine it working in all kinds of ways. This is trickier than I thought it would be. I mean, maybe the thing to do is to have like sort of a carved element, a central carved element. That's probably going to work out better. This is stupid. I should put this on the edge. No, but it's not hype if it's on the edge. Meaning it won't tile well. Trying to get like this thing centered. Oh no. Is this gonna work? It's gonna work. So that cobblestone thing, I feel like is gonna be kind of sloppy and not like cool looking. So now I'm going for more of a sort of carved pattern, right? Kind of a decorative carving in the wall. I could be totally wrong. Let's try the cobble version. Let's just give it a shot. Oh, there are discussions on stockpiles already? Okay, awesome. I'll take a look. What about a rounded top? Oh, I'm sorry. There are no rounded things in Stonehearth. That's as far as I'll go on a rounded top. Like, seriously, have you seen our wood? Cylinders are squares, right? This is the closest, this is the most rounded thing in the game. And it was like pain to add that. Like, let's see, do I have any good examples? No, but I try very hard not to put any rounded surface in Stonehearth. And sometimes it's tough. Use grass to pre-compute path. Yeah, so the problem with that, Pablo, is that the terrain changes. And so when the terrain changes, do you recompute your nav graph? And the terrain changes all the time, right? Or it will change all the time. So, right. I mean, I really am not the right person to talk to about this. So my role in the project, but if you have ideas, I mean, post them in the Discourse by all means. That's what it's there for. Discourse.stonehearth.net. I'm a bit of a unicorn. I learned that term. It's when I started in this industry. So I do art, animation, light coding. I code the UI, and that's my role. So if you start talking about like if you start talking about how to optimize the A-star algorithm or how our AI works and stuff like that, that is not my area of emphasis. I can answer basic questions. Happy to do it. Happy to direct more detailed questions to the more coding-centric guys on the team. Just laying that out there. Don't want to accidentally give you guys bad information, and then everyone yells at me here, and I feel terrible when you're misinformed. It's not a good thing. Hey, this might work. Just by simplifying everything, this might work. You know, don't do like the whole pattern, because I do think that would be like, don't do cobbles all over the place. I do think that would look very sloppy. Just like a hint of cobbling here and there. It's probably too much of a hint, but let's see how this is going as a general direction.